What's going on, folks? Rich here for RageWorks. Bit of a crossover for this video. We got Vinny, the wrestling figure historian from our friends at Nerd News Today, joining me for the unboxing of the AEW Chris Jericho statue from Diamond Select. As usual, typical Diamond Select packaging, window on the top, got your side panels, and a bit of a description on the back about Jimmy Jack Jericho in the Iron Lung. But in all honesty, you have your finisher listed, where Chris Jericho's from, a tiny bio, but there's a mistake. Tell us, wrestling figure historian.
So, first of all, the big glaring mistake is his hometown. Here it's listed as Calgary, Alberta, Canada, but we all know he's from Winnipeg, you idiot.
There you go. So, right off the bat, one of the first little glaring issues with this piece.
And you were mentioning also possibly with the finisher, because we gotta actually figure out, was this still Walls of Jericho as his finisher, or was he using the Judas effect at this point?
I think one of the things that I remember was in New Japan, he was still a little bit bulky and he was doing the Judas effect, but I also think he was nursing some injury. So I don't think he was doing the Walls of Jericho as much as a finisher. I think the Judas effect became more prominent when he came to AEW versus New Japan, where he just worked the strong style a lot, so the Judas effect was just the accepted finish.
I would say so, because I believe after he won the AEW title, that was when he started using the Judas effect. I think prior to that moment, he was still using Walls of Jericho. But you guys in the comments below could tell us about that, please.
Yeah, I definitely am a little rusty because Jericho's New Japan stuff, minus his feud with Okada, like I kind of tuned out of a lot of that because I was Jericho fatigue. I felt like I was seeing him everywhere.
Well, at that point, he still, for me, wasn't at the level he's now.
Right.
So, yes, you can make the argument he constantly reinvents himself, which is great.
Yeah, he stays fresh.
But considering the state of AEW right now, and we don't want to get into that.
That's a video for another day, folks.
Yeah.
But I will say that if there's one thing about Chris Jericho that I will attribute, and it's great that it's captured in this statue, which we're going to unbox shortly, is the fact that he was the first AEW champion, and his signing was one of the big moments that legitimized AEW as a promotion.
100%, because that took AEW from looking like, okay, it's a new independent promotion, to, oh no, this is actually going to be a competitor to WWE.
That's right. Now, let's acknowledge Chris Jericho's first title reign and check out the Painmaker and get him out of the box. All right, we got the Painmaker out of the box, holding the inaugural AEW championship that he secured after beating Hangman at All Out in 2019.
And this is right off his Painmaker gimmick, which he started in New Japan Pro Wrestling at the time. And like I said, like Rich may have said, definitely Diamond Select does do a great job in capturing the likeness, especially for this time period.
Yep. I mean, a lot of the pieces that we've looked at from AEW, myself, along with Matt from Nerd News Today, it's one of the things that always sticks out, that it's always close. And sometimes it's very, very close. In the case of Chris Jericho, I got to say, it's pretty damn close.
Very, extremely.
I mean, they were very gracious with the hairline. Chris Jericho does still have a full head of hair. He's not in the Shawn Michaels category of hair thinning, now bald.
True.
So kudos to them for making sure to get that. But one of the things that sticks out to me is the incredible amount of detail they took in recreating Jericho's outfit.
Especially on the jacket, because they pinpoint every spike. And yes, they are spikes, because these are pretty sharp.
Yep.
Not gonna lie.
They definitely will make some pain if you press your finger on them a little too hard.
So,
but for all of the awesomeness of this jacket, it does have one glaring defect: the design on the back.
Now, actually, Rich, this was the design he had on the back of the jacket. Now, you're thinking it's a meme. During the Painmaker gimmick, if you remember, he was referencing, I believe, Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange in the face paint that he was wearing too during his matches, and the hat that he would wear, because granted, this is just the jacket he's wearing. He's not in his full entrance gear.
Yep.
for
He had
this
the
time
fedora
period.
and the face paint. But come on, does this even look like him on the back?
I get what you're saying,
Freddy Krueger
but
on the
to
back
be
of this jacket.
but to be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if that's actually on the jacket.
Maybe this is Chris Jericho's real face. He
Maybe,
takes
I
it
don't
off.
know, without the makeup that he gets put on before every production.
That's it. Maybe that's what it is. This is what real learning tree Chris Jericho looks like on the back, folks. But all jokes aside, the attention to detail, even the smaller spikes here have great texture. The design work on the jacket is crisp.
Also, I'm going to say, even on the scarf or the neckerchief or whatever you want to call it, does have it nicely written, Les Champions, on his...
He had a name for the scarf. What the hell did he used to call it?
You're thinking probably when he was in WWE that he had that whole issue with the scarf that was made from pashmina.
That's right.
That's what you're thinking of, his last WWE run.
That's Gordon Ramsay Jericho, for those of you that don't remember when he had the short hair.
Yes.
And Festival of Friendship.
Yes. I will still say one of my favorite WWE figures at that time was the List of Jericho figure that he had. And actually, me and Matt did got to meet Chris Jericho for a book signing, and we had those figures signed.
Very cool.
So
tell me this, wrestling historian, before we move on. Which was your favorite Chris Jericho gimmick?
Oof. I would actually have to say it was around that time period.
Really?
With the List of Jericho. That every week, but also I'm a Kevin Owens fan.
Gotcha.
So the two of them together were just comedy gold. And legitimately, like, if I did not get a chance to catch Raw, I don't care. I was going to find out what Jericho and Owens were doing.
Gotcha.
Because I wanted to watch that. And that was like the first time I was like, oh crap, this is must see for me in WWE in a very long time.
One of the things I got to say with Jericho, you know, a guy who's been reinventing himself, the Painmaker persona, it's almost the equivalent. I almost like to equate it like when Finn Balor used to become the Demon. Like when he becomes the Painmaker, you know you're going to get ultra-violence.
Ultra-violent match, which Jericho hadn't done in a very, very long time.
And I didn't even think he had that kind of a match in him, I'll be honest.
But that was the beauty of Jericho. I know you're saying we're getting too much of Jericho, and I agree. But Jericho changes up his gimmicks every time to something completely different that not too many wrestlers are able to do.
And he refreshes the classics, because when he brought back the Lionheart, which he did in AEW, it was cool to see from a nostalgia standpoint. But we could go down the Jericho rabbit hole for a whole other video. But going back to the piece itself, you know, we talked about the detailing. One of the things I really have enjoyed in every AEW figure is the stages and the backgrounds. Because I think that with the Sting figure, which was really one of my favorites, probably the Sting figure first and the Punk after. This piece right here I really like, because the stage actually looks totally organic and natural versus you trying to figure out if it's really from that particular television moment.
I could picture the television moment with this statue very easily.
Yep, because one of the things that we don't have to worry about is, you know, face and heel tunnels, which was always a thing with when people looked at it, especially when AEW first debuted. We all know that was a big thing. You know, heels came out, I believe it was from the left, and faces from the right.
Because that was like the old school nostalgia of it. Because back in the day, it always used to be heels came from one side, faces came from another side.
Yep, that's one of the things I like
bringing back. So, but you're right. This puts it in a neutral setting.
Yep, neutral captures everything perfectly, even the AEW title, which for a lot of people that complain about title designs, I feel AEW's title designs, even the gradual improvements that they've made, the AEW title looks nice.
It's a classy title. And actually what I'm loving, because I could see it perfectly, you could see the AEW etched in to the straps and
That's
whatnot.
really cool.
And that's indicative of how the actual title is. Like even sometimes in toy format, you don't even get this level of design on belts.
Yep. The other thing I did want to mention, we were talking about the ascot, but we also have a Jericho scarf in there too.
Which I bet is probably made out of pashmina.
We get the two-piece there. We get the ascot and the scarf. But one of the things that I really wanted to draw attention to, obviously, besides the detailing here is the sunglasses. And I wanted to talk about the sunglasses a bit because this is one of the times when sunglasses, especially when done on statues, can either really be hit or miss because it's all about paint application. And I even think that in this case, the paint application for that actually makes them look reflective. They did a really good job with that.
Yes. I was going to say I would have liked the lenses to be actually darker. I don't know. That's my personal preference.
But do you think,
But I do see a reflection coming off those sunglasses.
Which I like. I think that, especially because, and I've said this in previous videos, the lights don't light up, which obviously would have raised the price point for the statue quite a bit. I do like that you get a little bit of the reflection there to mimic the lights when Jericho came out for his entrance. For those wanting to add this Chris Jericho to their collection, you can pick it up for a nice, easy $60 or in that price range, depending on the retailer you go to. But figure it's going to run you about $60. And for that price point, it's a damn good piece.
Because look at the amount of detail they're giving you in a statue.
It's a good statue. It's some good heft to it. Even though the base is hollow, you wouldn't know it because, like I said, it has some good weight to it, great detailing, a beautiful AEW championship representation, and looks as accurate as can be.
Yeah, I would say for that price point, it's well worth it, especially the amount of detail that goes in. And I won't lie, Diamond Select statues are pretty nice to display.
Yeah, Diamond Select over the last few years has really done a tremendous job, especially with this AEW license, in really not only recreating iconic moments, but just getting those subtle details down. Like, there's no necessity for the spikes on this to be this sharp.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It adds a lot of depth to the statue.
Well, actually, it does have to be that sharp. It's the Painmaker. What do you expect? He's got to make us feel pain.
I guess that is true. I will say that. But again, if you want to grab this statue, you can check your local specialty retailers. You can check Diamond Select site, and of course, we will have links for it in the show. Not show notes. We will have links in the description for this video. I'm Rich from RageWorks.
And I'm Vinny, the wrestling figure historian.
And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.